Welcome to the first episode of Conversations with Kone. This is going to be a weekly podcast series in which I'm going to interview various members of the Melee community. Today, I have Alex Lolex Gabrielson, head TO of the Beast series, major community leader in Sweden and in Europe itself, and also TO of various DreamHack events, including DreamHack Winter. Hi there.
Hello.
Hi, Alex.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, thanks, man. Straight away, I'm going to point out that this isn't going to be a super formal interview, Alex. We're just going to be chatting like we normally chat, having a few beers, maybe. Are you drinking anything?
I got some whiskey.
Nice. What sort of whiskey?
Single malt Scottish whiskey.
Nice. Okay, I've got a few beers here with me, so we'll have a few drinks, have a bit of a chat. I'll grill you on a few things, and we'll see where this goes.
Sounds good.
First off, I think basically what we'll do is we'll end up chatting clearly a lot about Beast and Beast 7, which is going on the 17th and 19th of February, so it's not too far away. And I believe you actually close tonight, is that right, registration-wise?
That is correct.
Okay, what time does it finish?
23:59, so another 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
So for the actual listeners, you'll be catching this on Saturday. So me and Alex are actually talking Friday night leading up to the actual close of Beast 7 final registration. But before we actually dive into Beast 7, let's go way back to the beginning, which is what I think I'm going to be doing with these chats, is getting to know the viewee as much as I can. We'll go past, then we'll go to the present. So starting off with, how did you actually get into the community?
I was playing Smash with a few friends casually at a friend's home, and one of us was a lot better than the others, and he got into the community in Sweden. He started going to tournaments, and he thought that we should tag along, so that's what we did. First tournament was Svar 7, hosted by Helios in 2008.
All right, which goes to, I think this could be one of my go-to questions at the beginning. What gen are you? I'm going to give you 5 choices here.
Okay.
So I'm already judging it based on your first event date. So we've got Gen 1, which is pre-Golden Era, so pre-MLG. Gen 2, Generation 2 is Golden Era. So that's our Ken, Isaiah, MLG era. Then we've got Gen 3, Brawl. Gen 4, Revival, Evo, and the Doc, and so on. And then Gen 5 is post-Docs. Which gen would you put yourself in?
Unfortunately, Brawl, even though I never played it before Melee.
Oh, so you must have what? If that was 2008, was that one of the last Helios tournaments?
It was one of the last, yeah.
And then you just continued from there?
Pretty much, yeah. I went to a few of his tournaments, then he quit.
This is what shocks me a little bit for the actual listeners. I'm Gen 1, so clearly I'm already better than our guest, Alex. But for a lot of our listeners, they probably don't even know who Helios is.
Yeah, that's true.
So do you want to quickly explain who he is, being a Swede?
Yeah, Helios is one of the Gen 1 players from Sweden. He was a big-time community leader, was over in the States and communicated over there. He hosted a lot of tournaments in Sweden, among them the Ross Renaissance of Smash tournaments that were the beasts of the time, I guess.
Yeah, I would say he was probably the first major EU TO.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, I'd probably go there. I remember the Ross tournaments. I slept on a boat at one of them. Nice, yeah. Literally, there was fire marshals that won the tournaments, and they were closing it down and telling us we couldn't sleep in certain places. Did you go? You wouldn't have gone to that one.
No, I didn't.
No, so I ended up sleeping one night on a park bench in this little square, and then the second night, me, Jam, and a few other players, we jumped onto the deck of a boat in the dock, and we slept on there.
Sounds old school.
Yeah, that is proper old school. I think events have improved a little bit since then. So, in a way, did you take Helios's spot in the Swedish community?
Yeah, I'd say so. He was obviously kind of a role model for me as well. I wanted to get to his standard of tournaments, and I think me and Armada, who was with me in the start, got off to a pretty good start and just continued on from there.
Okay, so how did that transition take place? Like, did you start hosting at the same time as Helios was waning, or was it kind of like Helios left and they left a little bit of a vacuum in Sweden and you and Armada stepped into it?
Yeah, more like his leaving left a vacuum, and then we started instead, and everyone came to our tournaments. Of course, having Armada as one of the TOs with his more known name was a big help as well.
And was that straight into Beast, or were there pre-Beast tournament series that you guys TO'd?
We had one tournament-ish before, and then we just went with Beast 1.
Okay, so pretty much straight into it then. All right, I'm gonna ask you this, and you're gonna be really annoyed at this because you've hidden this from me for ages, and it really irritates me because I know that I did know it and I've forgotten it. What does Beast stand for?
Obviously, we wanted a name, and we
Yeah.
went to the Swedish Smash forums, which were
Mhm.
where everything was at back then.
Oh yeah. I remember those. I used to post on that. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. And we said like, hey, we need a name. And then I believe it was Hack or Aniolas who came up with like, hey, we should just name it Beast and then figure out something that the letter stands for.
Why did you need the letters to stand for anything anyway? Beast is a brilliant name.
I don't know. It was like the two lost are like ST, so it's Smash Tournament. So it already had two of them down. And then I think Aniolas came up with Beast, and then Hack said like, yeah, we should just name it Boobs and Elks Smash Tournament.
Okay, you're gonna have to say that again.
Yeah, Boobs and Elks Smash Tournament, because that's what we have in Sweden.
Boobs and elks
Yeah.
at Smash tournaments.
No, a Smash Tournament.
Boobs, elks. What's the third one?
Boobs and Elks a Smash Tournament.
A Smash tournament. Oh my! I'm so glad that within the first sort of 5 minutes of this, we've already covered that. That's brilliant. No wonder you didn't want to tell me what it was.
Yeah, I think the people will be mad at me for spreading the word.
Yeah. Spread the word. Well, you know, we're covering history here. We know the history of the name Beast. Well, yeah, no wonder you don't talk about that anymore. We're uncovering some gems here. That's definitely a gem. So Beast 1 then, when was it and how many did you have and what was the concept behind it in the first place?
So this should be 2010.
Was that when I hosted S&Y, Smash Needs You?
I can't tell, sorry.
Yeah, August 2010, which was kind of like the first, 10th to the 12th, 2010 in Birmingham. It was like the first European tournament on UK soil. So if only I just continued and, you know, you wouldn't have this beast thing over me.
Oh yeah, wait.
Hey.
Yeah, I know now. We planned it in the summer of 2010 and then we held it in January in 2011.
Okay, so I still hosted a EU tournament before you, yeah?
Yeah. How many came to Smash Needs You?
I think we had about 100, 110, something like that. It was pretty impressive for the time.
Yeah, we had the
Yeah.
same numbers, like 110, 120 for Beast 1 as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's hard going back then because with Smash boards, unlike having Smash GG or anything like that, there's no like accurate record of full numbers,
exactly.
and we exactly, we didn't do like full reg back then and whatnot. Yeah, I retired after Smash Needs You for 3 years. I took a proper hiatus out. Anyway, back to you then. So Beast, your first Beast, was that European or was it just largely Sweden?
It was pretty European actually. We had people from Netherlands and France and probably not Spain, but you know, Germany, Norway, Denmark, Finland, people from all over. I have to say this was not just me and Armada. It was actually me, Armada, Aniolas, and Helios on the side.
Okay, that's a pretty good team to start with, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Pretty confident. We had a good venue, and we obviously were very happy with how many came out because, as you said, that's really a huge tournament for the time.
So where do we go? Do we go Beast 2's a year later? Because this is where I take my sort of hiatus from Smash. As I say, it was about 3 year hiatus before I came back. It was so weird. I kind of left on a high with Smash Needs You. I threw all my TVs out. I had about 30 TVs, and I just said to my wife, we weren't married at the time, but my now wife, I said, I'm done with it. And I took my 30 TVs and I piled them up on the road outside and I just left them there. We moved house and I just left 30 TVs on the road side.
No.
I know. And then when I got back into the game, I felt so bad. I was like, I wish I had those 30 TVs.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, anyway, my 3 year gap, I kind of went away, came back to it, and everything changed. Like Smash boards wasn't used anymore for communication. It was all on Facebook and so on. And obviously, when I came back, kind of Beast was the go-to tournament series in Europe. So I'm guessing at that point, was it probably Beast 3? At what point do you say Beast was the biggest, the most known EU event? Probably not Beast 1, but when did you think you were fully established?
I'd say Beast 3 was our largest breakthrough. Mango and Bobby Scar came over.
Okay.
And we broke some really old. No, that was actually Beast.
Was that the old Epta Smash record?
That was actually Beast 5 who broke that. So the Epita was really huge. We had 150 people, I think. Yeah, Mango came to Europe for the first time.
Was there still a school you were using at this point?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, Armada had a break from Smash at this time because he didn't participate, and there was like I remember Ice bracket resetting Mango in grand finals, playing as Sheik.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there were no streams, of course, so I think AGP
Oh, come on, who?
recorded it.
Yeah, I was going to say AGP Anton.
Yeah, he recorded everything.
For
I
the
think.
Yeah, for those who don't know, basically AGP was our, I guess, our lever of the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
He turned up at the bigger events. He actually did it for Smash Needs You as well, back in 2010 for me, and he basically just he recorded everything, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to Genesis 2 to record. They flew him over.
Whoa, I did not know that. That is really cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
he got he obviously got everywhere. His website at the time was the go-to place, along with the DC hub, to download matches to actually see what was going on. So anyway, yeah, so you got Beast 3, and then we obviously keep going.
And then the whole summer of Smash happened after Beast 4 with the documentary and back into Evo.
Is that Beast 5?
Yeah, this was before Beast 5. So I think Beast 4 was also like 200 people or something. And then Beast 5 comes around and we realized like, yeah, it's probably going to have an inflation of players here. So we should probably move out of the school. So we find another school, a bigger one.
This is 2 years ago. So this is the one where it was like triple booked or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was hell.
Yeah. So what happened there? Who do we blame? Is this you?
No. All the information I got was that we had the whole thing booked Friday to Sunday. So when we show up there and there's like old men running around playing, I don't know, like floorball or something.
I don't even know what that is. Floorball?
No. Yeah, it's something that's big in Sweden.
You do realize you're gonna have to explain what that is, though.
It's kind of like
you're not leaving it as old men playing floorball, and it's just a thing in Sweden and moving on. What is floorboard?
I mean, it's land hockey pretty much, but with like a ball instead.
Land hockey.
Pretty much, yeah.
You
have to Google it later.
I'm gonna have to Google it. I'll Google it. Listeners as well, Google floorball and see what he's on about. But yeah, go on. So you got a new venue, but it's triple booked.
Yeah, so fortunately we only had PM on Friday, so we just start emptying out the classrooms instead of being in the big hall that we had booked. And we somehow managed to run the whole PM tournament up to top 8 in like several rooms. I don't know how many we used, but it was pretty impressive and horrible at the same time.
I know there's a lot of issues with that. Obviously, from the UK, a lot of PM players, and PM was massive at that point in the UK. But Sweden's never really had that scene, has it?
Not really. No, we there's always been some interest, but it never really took over like it did in the UK.
Yeah, it was huge here for a while. You know, it's got pockets still, but it was absolutely massive. Yeah. So anyway,
there's also the UK invasion to Sweden there at Beast 5. Where we had 150 people or something.
You must love the UK because without the UK, Beast would really suffer, wouldn't it?
Yeah, obviously you have like a solid 100 people coming out of 700, so that's a lot of people.
Yeah, and for the listeners who obviously pay attention to EU events and whatnot, or if you don't, basically the norm is to probably have about 20 to 30 players from countries that aren't bordering yours, I'd say. So yeah. You know, like Sweden's going to get a lot from Norway, England's going to get a lot from Scotland and Wales and so forth. France is obviously a bit easier as well. But if you start thinking about the Netherlands traveling to Beast or Heir, or Germany traveling to Beast or Heir, and so forth, you're looking at 20 to 30 on average. So if you're getting an entire country moving 100 players via flight, not busing it or driving it, that's huge.
Definitely. And a lot of that thanks to Professor Pro as well. He really did a number there, like planning out flights, helping everyone like get to the flights and really doing work.
Which is something we've actually spoke, and me and Alex chat a lot, and I know I call you my rival.
Yeah.
Or my nemesis, but it's all friendly stuff. Obviously, I'm the head TO behind Heir, you're the head TO behind Beast, so we've got a rivalry in that sense. But it's a friendly rivalry, and me and Alex chat a lot. And it's one of the things that I know it's a conversation we've had regularly in the past, is how little, and you know, this might be a bit controversial, it's getting better, but how little the top players do in Europe to help the TOs out.
Yeah, we had a lot of
It
talk about
kind
that.
of- yeah, and it's we do, and to have Prof go out of his way as basically one of the top players in Europe, the top player in the UK for a long time now, and to basically organize, manage, plan out, motivate, talk to the UK community, and to get 100 plus turn. I think you've got what 109 UK at the moment to be 7.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's something on those lines. So you're getting 100 from us this year. You got 100 plus last year, 100, something like 150 at Beast 5. Huge numbers, and it just shows the impact a top player can have, hold themselves into a community leader as well to move their own scene. I would love, and I say this quite regularly, I've said it in various back rooms that I'm part of it, to have the actual players, the better players, to actually help out a little bit more with that. Because, what I find weird as well, Alex, is these are the guys that actually benefit from the pot. So
Yeah.
if they, so it's weird.
Obviously,
It's like,
they want more people to come, so they earn more money.
yeah, but the odd thing is that a lot of the time they're one of the last people to sign up.
Yeah.
And but you'd think if they signed up earlier, attending,
People will see their names and want to come as well.
yeah, and it motivates more people. I'm not a massive advocate that is necessarily 100% true, but I think it will bring players in. And on top of that, if you're motivating your own country to travel with you, again, you're bringing people not just selfishly because you want a larger pot, but you're adding players to the tournament, you're adding prestige to the tournament that you're attending and potentially going to win or place very well at. So basically, back to your point, which is Prof did an absolutely brilliant job in that sense, and he's continued to do it for the last couple of years as well. So yeah, so Beast 5, you got numbers kind of blew up from the UK, but from Europe as well, and that's the one where you beat Epita, yeah?
Exactly. Broke the like 7-year-old record, I think,
Yeah.
of largest tournament in the EU. We got kind of taken aback from that. Like, it was, like, again, this was only me and Armada at the time. We got a lot of help from people who now are Beast members, such as VJ and Isa.
Did you have Axel?
Yeah, he was there. He worked so hard with such bad air. He has problems with asthma and shit, so he like fainted and had to lay down and recover for some time.
See, this is the other thing that, as I guess, well-known TOs within Europe, is a lot of the time when you work with a team, you get the kind of acknowledgement. So Beast is kind of synonymous with yourself as head TO, and I kind of would expect the same with myself with Heir, but
Yeah.
it doesn't happen without your team. I know that I kind of helped out a little bit at the last Beast, and I saw how much work VJ puts in and how much work Axel puts in, and they're both tremendous. And I know that VJ has obviously, sometimes has rubbed people up the wrong way, but from what I saw at the last Beast, he does a great job.
Yeah, you can't take that from him, really.
No, he puts in a shift, and that's what. As a TO and a TO who needs a strong TO team, you just need people who are willing to graft and to put in a shift. They're two lads who probably aren't as well known for what they do for maybe Beast as they should be. And that's what I'm going to try to do with this podcast series, is try to get on as many members of the community that don't really get, ones that are well known, but also those who are maybe not as well known for what they do in the community, and, really make people aware of them.
I love the idea.
Yeah, back to Beast. So
Okay.
you guys are pitching in and huge numbers. Were you happy with how that event went?
Not at all.
Not at all. Wow.
Well, to be honest,
This is where Leffen beat Armada, though, isn't it?
yeah, it was, and Mango came back and he placed third after Armada and Letten. I mean, we had a great show from the players. I mean, Wii U as well was huge, with the UK favorites having like all these UK players who came over to cheer him on and placing.
Oh, you talked about Miller?
Yeah, exactly, Jay Miller.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. I didn't realize we'd skipped to Smash 4. Yeah. He won it, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Smash 4 fan, but in terms of, like, I don't enjoy playing it, but I appreciate watching it. I know what they're doing. I can get into it. I got into it at B6.
Same here. Like, you can really appreciate the work they put in, as you can see, just like with Melee, of course. And
yeah, like I can watch Street Fighter, I can watch anything and appreciate what's going on. I can see what's happening at a high level, so I can watch it, but not necessarily that I enjoy playing it to that degree. And I remember watching that Miller winning the grands, and I was in the bath, literally watching it in the bath and just like popping off myself and loving the moment when all the Brits run onto the stage.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, it's a great moment. So you had two great moments there. You got that the British reaction there, and you got Leffen popping off, beating Armada.
Yeah, and you got the Armada getting beaten only to meditate and four stocking Leffen the next game.
Oh yeah, that's a great game.
So we had all that, and most people said that they were actually happy with the experience. So I shouldn't complain too much, but from a TO perspective, it was pretty horrible. The four of us that I mentioned, me, Armada, Isa, and VJ, worked the hell out of us. We did way too much. There were problems with the venue. There were problems with cleaning afterwards and all that.
Because people could stay in the venue as well, like kind of sleep in the classrooms and so on.
Yeah, exactly. We learned a lot from that tournament, and we used it to make Beast 6 really great. Beast is a tournament that I'm really proud of.
Yeah, so we got the point where Beast 5 on the surface looks very good, but obviously you're a bit not as happy maybe deep down. And then Beast 6, which we'll get to, obviously is a cracking event. I attended that. But in between, does something else happen in Europe that maybe, challenges you a little bit?
Yeah, this other event. What's the name again? I can't seem to recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, this UK event.
UK event, yeah. It's like yeah. So anyway, so my lovely self arrives back on the scene. I told the listeners, bit of rivalry. What I call us the other day. I'm the old. Come on, I'm Ash, and who are you?
Well, Gary, obviously.
Yeah, Gary. So Ash comes out on top in the end. Yeah. Oh, I'm the old Goku, and you're my Vegeta. That's what
I guess.
Yeah, I was
about that.
But anyway, so Heir cracks on in the summer, does all right. That must have given you a kick up the arse a little bit, because you went from Beast 5 to Beast 6, and from a lot of feedback and what people said about Beast 5 to 6, there's a bit of a jump there, isn't there, in tournament standard?
Yeah, we got some help from Gothenburg State, pretty much.
Oh yeah, this is interesting, and I wouldn't mind talking about this a little bit more, because it's not really something that happens very often in Europe, and there's quite a few interesting scenarios in Europe that probably a lot of people aren't aware of.
Yeah.
So this is one of them, and I'm actually going to have Exile on, Lexi, who is part of Le French Melee, at the next episode, I believe, because Le French Melee is obviously a very interesting setup and organization in France in the way that they're kind of like an official organization. But anyway, so back to this. So how does it work with Gothenburg Council then?
Well, they just, like the Swedish state pretty much puts in money to help teenagers create events for other teenagers. So I reached out to this guy and I said, like, yeah, we held this tournament for like 450 people, but we need a new venue because the venue sucked. Can you help me with this? And then he was like, yeah, of course. I'll see if I have something. I'll see if my partners have something. And if not, then we can probably talk to larger venues for you and say that we are from Gothenburg and probably get a pretty nice deal with them. So that's basically what he did, and he talked to this venue we are in now, Eriksbergshallen,
which is, for those who haven't been, is an awesome venue. Like, definitely the space is brilliant. It's aesthetically pleasing. It's right next door to the hotel, which you kind of, I guess, you get room rates on, and the hotel's lovely as well. And then it's on the riverfront again. It's lovely to look at. Obviously, it's a little bit nippy in February. Yeah,
you gotta take that.
Yeah, you gotta take that. There's shops nearby, a couple of nice restaurants and so on, which I enjoyed last year.
This year I haven't announced anything yet, but we're working to get food trucks just right outside the door of the venue, so it's gonna be nice.
Yeah, I've tried that. I've tried that before. Tried it the last two airs as well, but there always gets a kind of paper trail thing happens, and the venue wants kind of, our venue anyways, like wanted, health and safety and all that sort of thing, and hygiene awards, and is wanted to take a percentage of the fee for having them there. And the problem is it's hard because you don't know how much footfall you're going to give to these businesses. So
yeah,
what I found it difficult, because I'd be saying we've got 500 plus people and they may buy X amount, but obviously that's a hard footfall for me to judge. And then if the venue's saying they're going to take a cut from that as well for having them on site, I haven't been able to get anything in concrete. So have you had a little bit more luck with that? Have you came across similar problems?
No, actually, the venue is also host for like a food mass
You
where
just you're getting lucky here, Alex. You're getting lucky.
so there's already been food trucks just right outside the door where we're going to have it now. It's the Gothenburg owns the mark or like the space.
What do you mean by market? More?
No, that this is the space outside, like the.
Yeah. But what did you call it?
It's mark in Swedish, so I try to
Okay.
Englishify that.
Oh right, okay. So that's why I was confused. I didn't know what you were doing. So
Yeah.
you're meaning the space in between the hotel and the actual venue, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll call it a square for listeners. It's a square basically.
Yeah. So like the license that they already have to sell in Gothenburg, it's the same. Well, I mean, it works there as well in the square.
Which is brilliant. That's great. So again,
Yeah.
the venue's coming through for you. Hopefully
Yeah,
that pans
and,
out. Do you think you'll have them food trucks in place?
It looks very likely. Yeah, it's going to be some vegan truck and then one with just like sausages and burgers and stuff.
Meat truck.
Yeah.
Meat truck, yeah. A vegetarian truck. So back to the Gothenburg Council thing then. So I'm guessing they got some form of discount in place for you to be able to access the venue.
Definitely, it's a very expensive venue. We already pay a lot for it, but it's like 1/4 of the price that we should have paid, or less than that,
Whoa.
because of just Gothenburg going in last event saying, "Hey, we're doing this for teenagers, and this and this." And obviously, the hotel owns the venue, so if we book them a lot of rooms, then they earn money that way as well. So they're happy.
So which works similar to Heir. I've got X amount of bedrooms I must fill Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And as long as I cover those, I get the rest of the venue for a certain price. And if I don't cover the bedrooms, then my name's actually contracted to pay any outstanding money.
Oh, we didn't have that, luckily.
This is why I push so hard, social media wise.
Yeah.
And until them rooms are taken, it's literally my name. It's just my name beside like, I don't know, 24 grand's worth of money. Yes. So it's
scary.
A bit scary, a little bit sweaty palm time.
Yeah.
So Gothenburg help you, which is awesome. But I guess this is also why a lot of the Brits cry a little bit at Beast.
What do you mean?
Which is we're not allowed to drink in the venue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so there's probably a lot of people who don't understand that ruling, but I obviously know this because we've chatted about it before. It's in place because of the agreement you've got to be able to access that venue, yeah?
Yeah, kind of. We get help from Gothenburg, and obviously they are helping us because we are making a youth event where teenagers can do something else than go drinking and being messy kids. Yeah. So it's completely drug and alcohol free.
Yeah, you got to respect that and maintain that to be able to keep the positive relationship and to access such a cool venue. So, which makes perfect sense. Which I quite like because it kind of, if Beast and Heir were super similar, it would damage us both as brands. But because we're very different, it kind of gives a different feel to both of them.
Yeah, I agree to that.
Yeah,
we are more the esport events with no alcohol, no PM,
Which was what I was about to ask you. How do you perceive like Beast? How do you market it? What do you think makes you distinctive? If someone asked you to basically like summarize Beast, what would you say? What is your aim with the actual entire Beast series brand?
As I said, we're trying to be very esport. We're trying to be the genesis of Europe, the large event that everyone attends, and with a lot of attendees. Obviously, we're over 700 this time as well.
Do you worry about Eclipse with the idea of being esports?
Not really. I think Eclipse is obviously they're doing a similar thing.
Sorry, I'll just quickly say for listeners who might not have picked up on that point, Eclipse are supported both logistically, I guess, organizationally and financially by Pressfire, which means they have a pretty good access venue-wise. They've got a lot of support in terms of social media, in terms of technology. Like some of their innovations at the last Eclipse were really impressive.
Yeah,
and I think from talking to Howie, and there's actually a quality interview with Howie, and I apologize. I don't know the press fire member of staff that the interview was done with. I'll stick it in the YouTube comments afterwards. But it's on Smash Europe if anyone hasn't seen it, and it's a great interview. But basically, what they say in the interview is that they are basically aiming for exactly the same market that you're aiming for. Like they want to be the esports event, the most professional event of Europe. Obviously, they've kind of got funding behind them. So what my point being, does it worry you that they may kind of try to nick that from you, or at least marginalize your turnout because of what they're doing?
Not yet, at least. I think definitely there's space enough for the both of us, and we're pretty far apart during the year.
Yeah, that's true. You're a good 6 months apart, a little bit more than that. But yeah.
So I'm not too scared of them like being a trouble for us. I think more that they are also trying a lot to come up with new stuff for Smash and innovate a lot. And I think that we can only learn from them and pick up some of the stuff that they come up with.
Yeah, you're good at that as well, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. But I think it should be.
Yeah, of course. It's joking aside, is in the last 2 years, EU events, and so 2 years ago, we probably couldn't say we had more than one major. And even then, like Beast still being ran in a school with people sleeping on the floor. It was a major for EU, but maybe not a major compared to the US. And I think we can't still say we're majors compared to the US, but we've definitely now got like a standard of majors in Europe. Like you've got Beast, Eclipse, I put Eclipse in there now. Syndicate. I think between those four, there's obviously still a range there, but you can now say that every year we've got
these four are going to happen.
Yeah, it's like Beast is kind of second, third weekend of February. Heir is going to be happening probably third weekend of August, which we are again this year. Second weekend, I think it is Syndicate's second weekend of September again. I think it's 8th and 9th, 10th weekend. Apologies. Apologies to Syndicate team if I'm slightly off with those dates. October, you get Eclipse. And then obviously, DreamHack's not quite the same because it's, a proper company type event. And there's a different feel to it. But, you know when DreamHack's coming as well, DreamHack Winter. And then obviously HF Land's trying to reboot, although I think maybe
they have
not
a problem
quite.
with attendance cap though.
Yeah, I raised this online about whether 250 cap allows you to say you're a major still. But then again, I don't think Syndicate hit that themselves in Melee. So, they probably are. But I think by next year, you'd probably have to be aiming for a larger cap to say you are.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, yeah. But the amount of majors now is great. And being able to see what each other are doing, being able to
pick up some small things.
Yeah, exactly. Which I've done from you and you've done from me, and you see what other events do, and you do that yourself, and learn from each other's mistakes as well. But it also fosters competition, and I think competition is healthy. And what it means is that we end up trying to put on better events, which is it's only going to be better for the actual attendees.
Yeah.
So saying that, what are you doing this year? So Beast 6 was cracking. I was there. I enjoyed it a lot. And I would say that really did establish Beast as a quality. I guess before that, maybe a lack of competition meant you kind of had the position of being in EU, the leading EU major. But Beast 6 was like a cracking event. It was clearly like this, I'm at a major in Europe. So what's the idea behind Beast 7? What can we expect from Beast 7? Are there any new innovations, or how you try to stretch yourself this year?
So my idea basically when we started planning Beast 7 was that I wanted to reach out to other communities. We got Street Fighter on the main event line, kind of flopped, unfortunately. But
why do you think that is?
I think partly Street Fighter 5 is a game that's kind of frowned upon by the community, kind of like how Brawl was for the Melee players, and also the scene in like they have online play, which is really good, and the scene isn't that keen on just going out to events at all, pretty much.
Okay, so did it not? I guess I looked at the numbers for Street Fighter not too long ago, and they were still kind of low. Did you not feel like there was maybe a point where it wasn't appropriate to run it anymore, or did you just want to honor the people that had actually purchased the tickets?
Yeah, we'd already put in stuff. We had some sponsorship deal with getting screens and setups there, and we're obviously gonna run the tournament, and there's going to be a ton of setups for smashers who want to try the game or just play some Street Fighter for fun.
Yeah, and potentially a gateway for the players into another part of the FGC. So, which is cool.
Yeah,
So-
which is what I'm also doing with we're having Rivals of Ether is coming out.
You got Brawlhalla there as well, or was it just?
Brawlhalla as well, yeah. So we have some platform games for the PC who's coming out, and they are running tournaments on our side event page, smash.gg/beast7 side events. We have like the whole cafeteria area from Beast 6 is going to be filled with these games and with an artist alley, which I'm coming out with form for tomorrow. And just I wanted
Okay, so how's your? What do you mean by form? Are you saying just people
who wants to sell stuff, pretty much? Who wants to buy a table from us? Will have to apply there.
Is there a cost to how much a table will be in the alley?
Yeah, you're going to put it to 50 euros if you want to buy a stall.
Is that for the duration of the event or per day?
For the entire event.
Okay, that's really cool. You know, that's something I would like to see more at events. We've had a little bit of that at Heir, not a massive amount, but we've had 8-Bit Planet. Shout outs to them who sponsored us or partnered, probably more partnered with us the last 2 years. They've had a stall at Heir. And then we've had, I believe they're with you again this year, Design Out a Shield.
Yeah, correctly. He did the Beast 7 controllers, and he will also have his own booth there at the Artist Alley, kind of.
And for anyone who hasn't, check out Design Out a Shield.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Isaac is a really talented guy, and
he's
puts
also
a lot of work into his controllers.
Yeah, very, very dedicated. And the Beast design is actually awesome. They're like really awesome.
Yeah.
The controllers he's made, which was part of your compendium, if I'm right.
Correct.
How do you feel your compendium went?
Really good, I'd say, actually.
Really? All right, compared to last year, I guess. You compared your last year was poor.
Yeah, like last year was a real flop with just negative things pretty much. This year we got 3 of our 4 goals covered. So we are flying over Isaiah to Europe for the first time. We are flying over Dragged Fox and Slox as well.
It was a little bit close, wasn't it? Though you kind of had to shuffle around money.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, we still feel 3 out of 4 goals. So
it's good.
I'm very happy with it.
Do you know why, in my opinion, you struggle a bit more with those? It's a good thing, but it's a kind of a reason why the compendium struggles a bit, I think, for Beast.
Go ahead.
Okay, so it's because you've already confirmed like top players. That you know, and that's what I mean by it's good, but it's also got problems. It's if you've already got like Hungry Box, Nintendo. I think you had like Homemade Waffles.
Yeah, and Moon from the start.
Yeah, the Moon. Yeah, so when you've already got like players like that, it's very. I think it becomes increasingly difficult and challenging as a TO to expect, but also to motivate a community to get behind compendium goals, to fly out players when you're flying out players who maybe not be at exactly the same standard of players you've already got on board. And I kind of also, from an attendee point of view and a community point of view, you're probably thinking, well, Hungry Box is already there. Why do I need to support the compendium so much, you know?
Correction there, we're actually not flying out anyone except for Homemade Waffles, who we
no, yeah,
mostly flying out for commentary. But
no, I didn't.
I get your point. Yeah, with.
I didn't mean that. What I meant is like, okay, so if we flipped it over at Heir, I'm saying help us out to get Non over, help us out to get the Moon over. And then we put Chudat on at the end. But I didn't already have Hungry Box signed up. And I'm not saying you flew them out, but I'm saying is if you already got those like kind of like caliber of players there, I think it then becomes more difficult to sustain and really get a momentum behind a compendium. But then, you know, maybe that suggests you don't necessarily need the compendium as much.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, the merch was still paid for, and all that money extra, if you say so, we want to put it towards the tournament. So we will look into next year what we might do instead with it.
Why do you think you're so? And this is a question that I'd already kind of thought about, and it's one of the major differences between yourself and the other events in Europe. And I've just got a list here, and I think my list might be a little little bit out, so you can tell me if I'm missing anyone. We've got Hungry Box, Nintendo, Jug Fox, Dizkid Boogie, Hugs, Homemade Waffles, Slocks, Crush, and SFAT. Obviously, a few of them, what was that, Jug Fox, Homemade Waffles, have been helped financially. Is it Slocks as well?
Yep.
Yeah. So why do you think you are doing so well with the US? And also obviously pulling out Wobbles and West Balls last year as well. So like that's obviously a thing that Beast is doing well compared to the other EU majors.
Well, last year I don't think we had anyone actually who we didn't help fly over, come over. And this year we definitely have a lot more. We have like 18 out of the top 100 SSBM rank players at the event. So I think DreamHack helped a bit. People realized that after flying out to DreamHack for the huge prize pool that they had, that hey, it's not so hard to actually fly out to Europe, so maybe we should do it again. I think Beast 7 is the most well-known tournament in the States. Like a lot of people know it as the only European tournament. Sadly, just looking at the viewer numbers, we are way above both Syndicate and Heir.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, definitely.
So I guess it's just they want to come out to the largest one first. Hopefully.
Do you do much work with them? Is there any particular, just from a TOing point of view and just from a listener point of view, is there certain strategies that you use, or are you just basically going off the kind of prestige and reputation of the event, hoping that these players turn up? Or are you actively seeking them out, actively promoting in the US?
I did a bit of reach out before the event was announced. Unfortunately, we only got Nintendo and the Moon confirmed then. After that, we had Papa Paint, who is the video god over in America.
Yeah, he is amazing.
Who does all the trailers for like the big tournaments and top 8 trailers. He did our trailer. He did it in a way that he thought it would reach out to American players specifically. Okay, we also released it during the Big House, which is a huge American tournament.
Yeah, and it was at Genesis as well, I saw.
Yeah, it was at Genesis as well. So obviously I'm trying to reach out to American players during their media or their tournaments, also at good hours for them when we do like social media updating and stuff. But aside from that, and me talking to the top 6 in a chat, that's not. SFAT signed up yesterday, and I saw that from the payment in my inbox. So that's like.
That's a great feeling, isn't it? Like obviously maybe not the SFAT stand, but it's very pleasing when you see someone like that sign up.
Obviously it brings more viewers to the stream, which is also the players who come out to the tournament are just appreciating top players being there, and gets better games all over for the tournament.
Yeah, which again you've done well at. Which actually, I guess, brings me into my next question, which is it's something that really niggles me about Beast. I did say earlier on that I was going to grill you a bit, so I guess this is my first grilling. Is your social media game is pretty weak, and it has been again this year. It was better than last year, but I would say in comparison to Heir, definitely HF LAN this year, Syndicate was strong. Helix, I wish Helix had continued. Their social media game was great. I put Beast behind all of those, and for a tournament that has so much reputation, so much history, so much great moments, and that's the thing that you have that Heir does not have. Like, we've never had a great top 8 yet at Heir.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, which sucks, and it's frustrating, and there's very little you can't, as a TO, you can't really like make a top 8 happen like that, but it has happened for you, like the Left in Armada thing and all that, and the 4 stocking and stuff. So you've got so much to play with, but then your social media is so inactive at times. And I just generally feel from someone who puts a lot into that if you put more into it, your numbers would be even better.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it shows in our numbers as well. We didn't really increase that much from last year.
If I'm honest, I'm just gonna check now. So Beast 6, I'm gonna stick with Melee because in the end of the day, it's the easiest comparison for me because I don't host Smash 4. Although I'd love to, we just don't have the venue for it like yourselves. And obviously also long term, we're both Melee TOs. So, and I guess in a way, if you're comparing yourself to the Big House and Genesis, then we're doing it via Melee mainly. So Melee at Beast 6, you've got, let's have a look. 410 for singles, and doubles you've got 119 entrants, so 119 teams, and you're closing in less than 2 hours, and you've got 406 for Beast 7 for melee singles. And so let's have a look. Melee doubles, you are at
287.
287. So divide that in two. Who's got a better math?
144.
Okay, so melee doubles you're doing better, but you've not quite. You probably go over 410, but you're not gonna go massively over. Do you contribute the limited growth down to your social media?
I'd say it definitely has a part of it, and it's something that Beast 6 struggled because I did it, and I suck at social media. Beast 7, generally I wanted to put more people into the team. We were 6 last year. This year we are 13 in the main team. Sadly, I think we need to put most areas, I guess, have helped a lot with more people in it, like logistics, and I think it's going to show with Smash and Wii U at the tournament as well. But sadly, social media didn't really get enough help. I think we should have a bigger team behind it.
Yeah, I don't know, like, for what I am trying to work with Heir, I just kind of feel like if I had Beast's history to work with, you should really be punching above those figures a bit more, especially with, well, put it this way, and I'm going to do this, the Ash v Gary, the Goku versus Vegeta type thing. On your website, it claims that you are the largest melee tournament series.
It does?
It does, yeah, it does. So after basically your reg closes tonight, you can't really claim that anymore, Alex.
That's true.
It's true. So in that sense, it's interesting because, Heir finished at 473 melee singles, melee doubles 167. So this will be the first year where we kind of went toe to toe, like Beast numbers overtook Heir overtook Beast overtook us. We took you back over, but then you're not going to take us over this year. So there's got to be a reason there somewhere. I don't know what you would contribute it to, but I personally feel it's maybe that you need to just develop your social media game a bit more.
Yeah, I think, as I said, I think it's definitely a big deal, a big part of it.
Who right now, Alex? I'm gonna get into this. Who is doing the rhyming stuff?
That's Anna Power.
Okay, come on. Like, rhyming, your social media strategy has been rhyming. Like, oh, and who's the crush Princess Leia? Who was that?
That was Anna Power as well.
Right, yeah. So you need to sort that game out and get a little bit more direction going there, and think more about what you're doing media wise, because
yeah, not so much direction. You just need to get someone who knows their shit about it.
Or just have a discussion with your team. Like we have regular discussions as a team, and we sit down, we say, this is our goal, this is what we want to, we literally say, these are the words that we want to convey to our audience. And if we convey these words effectively, we believe that'll convert into people signing up, because one, we generally believe in our words, like community and grassroots, and caring for the community and so forth. And I think if you think about your strategy and you have a clear strategy and everyone knows what that strategy is and works towards it, you're going to convey a clear message to the community, and people will buy in as a result. I just think, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking you're going to just pip numbers from last year, and maybe you should have gone a little bit more ham with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, especially to get the top players turning up as well. Saying that actually about the event, what are you going to do for your exhibitions? Because at the moment on your schedule, they're a bit empty.
We are looking into a salty suit, but I can't announce anything yet because we are finalizing with players.
You're not going to try copy my contract idea, are you, Alex?
No, like a salty suit, like back at
I was just checking because we'd come to blows.
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, so salty sweet type event. What 3 event, maybe 3 games, 4, 5 different sort of exhibitions?
Yeah, just like big rivalries, games that's going to look really good on stream, things like that.
Do you find that And this is actually one of the reasons we created the contract, and also why we went really hard on DE crews, is that it seems really hard to create salty sweets in Europe because we don't quite have the rivalries that you see in the US.
Yes, we discussed that as well.
Yeah, and it's really, I think personally, it's down to two reasons. I think one, not so much today as it was in the past, in kind of like European Smash history, it's the language barrier. But the main one is the fact of there's not so much cross competition between the countries.
Yeah.
It's getting better. But Europe being as it is in terms of Scandinavia, the geographical location of Scandinavia, which I think a lot of maybe where US is huge, a lot of North America benefits from the fact that you can drive across it. UK is an island. Spain is geographically located off to the southwest. Scandinavia is awkward to get to. And I think part of our issue is geographically, it is hard for players to move from one location to the other, that we get less interaction and crossover between our communities here in Europe. And I think that muddled in. And that muddled in with a bit of the old language barriers at times, not so much anymore. It just means that we haven't had those rivalries form as much.
Like Oliva said earlier today, that we don't have these rivalries because in Europe we all love each other.
We love each other?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I maybe, but I don't know. I mean, maybe we are, unless you're all part of. I don't know what it is actually. I think we are generally friendlier to each other. I think the UK. Did you see Esam's comments after B6?
Yeah, I did.
About how horrendous the UK crowd was.
Yeah.
And he literally was like, I would hate to play in front of a UK only crowd. So I think the UK can be quite loud and boisterous and maybe a little bit more likely to smack talk a bit. But I maybe find from especially like the Scandinavian countries, it's a little bit more reserved in that sense.
Yeah, well, Norway can be kind of tacky as well.
I actually remember back in one of the Ross tournaments, we had a crew match against Norway, and they were actually super loud. But
they can be loud.
They can be loud, yeah. I take that back a little bit. I'll just place the blame on Sweden. But I don't know, like it's hard to foster a salty sweet sometimes here when the rivalries don't exist, but they're not at all. The characters within them aren't as brash that they're going to make some sort of like shout out type compilation trailer teaser type of thing.
Yeah, but definitely. I agree with that. But we're working with what we have, and I think it's going to be good still. And we have some Americans coming over. So.
Yeah, so I look forward to that. I guess a couple more questions just on the event, and then I guess we're in our final stages a little bit. Are you still drinking your whiskey?
Actually, just emptied it.
Emptied it? Yeah, I've had a few, so I might have one more, which will probably finish me off the actual podcast. Yeah, so just finish off talking about B7. A couple of things that, from a TO point of view, obviously, I check out what's going on in different events, and I look at how the TOs are organizing themselves, and two things stand out at B7. And the first one's probably a little bit controversial in terms of when you guys announced it. The DE bracket pools versus round robin pools decision and kind of last minute call out that you guys were doing that. What was the decision based on, and why you guys gone for that? And how do you feel that there's been, a little bit of, I guess, controversy about the decision?
I think that we made a mistake with not going out with it earlier because it was settled back in August when we started planning. But I do not think we made a mistake with deciding on it because I feel that we are getting big enough that we need to speed it up, and it's just double elimination bracket pools are so much faster and easier to run. And
do you actually think they are easier to run?
Yeah.
Personally, I think round robin is easier. You have 4 TVs, 8 players around it, 3 TVs, 6 players around it. It doesn't matter what you do. You need to have your TV needs to be half the ratio of your players. You outline very specifically the playing order on the pool sheet. I think most of the community have probably played more round robin pools at locals, regional, national events than they've played DE bracket. You don't have to stress about the pool captain so much. I guess you need more of them because you've got more pools compared to like a 16D bracket. So I guess you need more pool captains. But there'll be someone in a pool who can run a round robin pool very easily. I think with a DE bracket, there is a specific order you need to play in. and you don't want to get certain aspects of it further ahead than others because you can start slowing it down in places, and you actually need someone who can and run it a bit more efficiently. And that's where I actually prefer RR pools, because I worry that sometimes you don't have that person in place, especially at a larger event where it's harder to ensure you do.
I guess then this could be helpful because people will start to get more used to it, I guess.
Well, obviously they do it in the US. They've kind of given up on round robin pools, but I just thought it was an interesting number because decision. When you ran last year on similar numbers and you did round robin, and this year you're not.
Yeah, but we also ran super late with Smash 4.
Yeah,
and we want to keep it kind of.
Is this decision more worried about Smash 4 than Melee?
Obviously more worried, yes, but it's kind of been a discussion ever since before Beast 6 between VJ and Isa that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
VJ wanting to switch to bracket pools and Isa just hating bracket pools.
I personally don't like them. I understand why people, TOs especially, opt for them. But then again, you guys are doing a second round of them as well, yeah?
Yeah, we are. And as I stated earlier, I'm trying to make it so that there's a lot more to do than just play the tournament at Beast. We are also going to announce the ladder system, pretty big now recently.
Well, yeah, exactly. I kind of think Shine 2016, they didn't do a ladder, but they obviously did the lane system. I think the lane system, which I understand, but came across very confusing, I think, to a lot of people. I don't know how it went down in person. Like, a lot of the feedback online showed it went down really well. So obviously, logistically, they ran it well.
Yeah, the Shine,
I just mean from
just brilliant.
Yeah, I just mean from an outsider, it wasn't the easiest to get my head around. But I know that Matt.Zeb, who runs Shine, or is also a member of Smash GG, and then Smash GG have came up with this Smash ladder. So I don't know, obviously, the organization behind Smash GG and who came up with the Smash ladder, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was involved in some way, because it's kind of like Shine happened, this lane system happened, which went down really well, and it suddenly converted itself into a Smash ladder system on Smash GG. So I kind of see the lane system as being like the child behind that. And then a lot of places are adopting it now. And as you just said, you guys are going to go for it as a way to balance out the lack of round robin pools.
Yeah, just even if you go 0-2 in pools, you can play serious sets throughout the weekend.
So where you guys going to run that in the sort of cafeteria area?
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, which is good. So which brings me on to my second gripe, I guess, a little bit with the schedule, or the second worry, is that your round 2 melee pools are starting at 8 o'clock at night. Does that not worry you a little bit?
A little bit, of course.
Yeah, because the obvious thing is you had time slippage at B6, and obviously you're trying to minimize that by using DE pools. But if you have any time slippage there, half an hour, an hour, you've got players playing 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night. Obviously, it's scheduled for 8 to 10, which is still pretty late. And these guys are playing to get into top 32. So it's like, this is one of the most, if not the most critical point of the tournament, being played super late.
We don't have Friday to work with that much, so
that's gonna be a stressful Saturday, because you're basically going, I have to nail this. You can't lose any time. You're losing time, and you've got top 64 playing at 10 o'clock at night. So
yeah.
That is going to be a bit of a sweat on. And then is the other thing of like, I play in wave 1 and I make it through at 12 o'clock midday, and I'm not playing till 8 o'clock at night. And 8 o'clock at night is the most important part of the event, so I can make it into Sunday. So
obviously,
yeah,
you have the ladder and warm-up stations to keep warmed up.
Yeah, and I understand there's access there to keep yourself warmed up, but I don't know. I think it's a bit risky, Alex. We'll see how it pans out. Obviously, I hope it pans out all right, but I just hope you don't have any time slippage there.
Yeah, me too.
You too, yeah. Which I guess we'll start aiming to kind of wrap this up a little bit. What are your aims, I guess, for like Beast 8, Beast 9, Beast 10? Are you going to keep on going?
I don't see a reason not to.
What are your I'll reword that. What are your long-term aspirations for Beast?
It's hard to say actually right now. I might be getting picked up by DreamHack and start working for them more and more.
Okay.
so that might leave me less time to work with this. But if I get even more help for next time and I don't have too much other shit to do, then Beast 8 should be pretty confirmed.
Yeah, and is there any kind of like, I guess then there's no long-term goal in terms of more than just being more esports? Is that it? Kind of like, let's just keep improving esport-wise?
Yeah, pretty much. We want to be Genesis.
Which is pretty much the pinnacle, isn't it, at the moment of Smash? Like if you can do that in Europe, you've absolutely clocked it here. I guess like last question just to wrap the whole thing up, and it's been absolutely lovely to chat to you like normal. What are your biggest highlights as a TO? It can be from Beast, it can just be anything in TOing. Like what would you want if someone walked up to you and basically said, what have been the highlights of you being involved in this community as a TO, non-TO, whatever? What would you share?
The highlights or the highlights?
Any highlights? Like what are your highlights? I guess. Okay, we'll do a TO, and then what have your TOing highlights been?
I always love the feedback from tournaments where people have a great time and like where they say that they appreciated all the work put down, and just getting like hearing people say that they had a great time at your tournaments is always the best. Like my favorite parts of holding in tournaments.
Which is also mine, and I'm just gonna throw it out there to our listeners. If you do go to an event, it's Beast, it's Heir, it's Syndicate, it's your local, you know, it's just a weekly down the pub. Just throw a mention to the TO. Like if you enjoyed it, just tell them. Like
Definitely agree.
A tweet, a Facebook post, a direct message. The direct messages go down so well. And it just gives that person because there's always something that might not go so well, and someone might not enjoy it fully. And those who are normally a little bit more negative about an event or anything in life are the more vocal. And if you're content, you're not normally as vocal. So if you are content and you did enjoy it, just shoot us a message, shoot the TO a message and just say, I appreciate it. I love it. You don't have to say I love it. That's a bit more extreme, but just say, I appreciate what you're doing. And the likelihood is that TO will just keep on going.
The West Balls versus Leffen combo on Leffen.
Oh, yeah.
Where people were like laying on the ground, everyone was standing up, shouting. That was probably one of my top highlights.
I was there. That was awesome. The energy in the crowd was cool, really cool.
Yeah. As a player, I think being at Apex 2014, that was really cool. Just going overseas is something that every Smash player should do at least once.
Which I can echo as well. Not something that I've done as recently in my part of the community, but in the past, I used to travel a lot when I was younger. I've got other responsibilities now, and I think it gives you those links and those connections and those experiences that you wouldn't get otherwise. And if you are new or you've been part of the scene for a while and you haven't done it, I completely agree, Alex. I think you should do it, and you'll get a lot out of it.
Definitely.
Other than that, just a couple of things to wrap up before we finish. B7 then, how long we got left, reg-wise?
1 hour 20.
1 hour, so 1 hour 20 left. 406. Are you gonna now admit that as the Premier Melee tournament, Alex?
Yeah, sure. You can have Melee.
Yeah.
For now.
That's good, lads. You see, rivalry and all of that. Yeah. Other than that, the last thing just to say is, if you listen to the podcast, thank you. We'll do this again next week, different guest, obviously. And if you enjoyed it, if you want to give us some feedback, hit us up on Twitter or on the actual YouTube channel. Follow us in terms of myself, at Convo Kone. Information or updates or news about Heir, which I'm head TO for, it's at Team Heir. Alex himself, if you've enjoyed what you said and you want to follow Alex, you can follow him at Lolex91. I'll say that again, at Lolex91. And Beast, so any news about Beast 7, even if you're not going to Beast 7, which to be honest, if you're in Europe, despite my rivalry with Alex and the team, the Beast team, Beast is a brilliant tournament series. You should be there. But if you're not there, follow them at Beast Series. And make sure you follow the actual live stream, which I presume is being delivered by Gigi Goon Squad. I think it's Bring Your Own Controller as well.
Bring Your Own Controller, yes.
Yeah, so make sure you follow those two streams during the 17th to the 19th of February weekend. And then lastly, massive shout outs to Smash House. So this is a podcast series that is going to be hosted on at Smash House UK is their Twitter, and you can if you Google YouTube that, you'll find their YouTube channel, Smash House, as well, and the Twitch, which they are a stream team here in the UK, and they will be expanding into Europe, is Smash House UK for their Twitch. And hopefully, if I get some positive feedback from this and, some constructive feedback, we'll try take this over to a live feed on a weekly basis via Smash House UK. Other than that, just a big thank you to Alex.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, of course. Every time, Alex. And obviously, good luck with Beast 7. And
thank you.
I'll obviously see you at Heir 4 as well. Yes?
Of course.
Of course. All the best, man. And have a good night.
You too. Good night.
Yeah. Ta-ra, man.
Bye.